Alrighty, good evening everyone. Welcome to a special introduction presentation this evening. We're live streaming tonight, so welcome to everyone that is tuned in to YouTube Live. Normally our intro presentations are about 30 minutes long. I lie because I always make them much longer than 30 minutes. But I tell everyone 30 minutes. This evening we're going to stick to a very similar format, so it's still going to be an intro presentation. But the difference tonight is that I'm going to invite not Brendan up this evening. I'm going to invite Tim up this evening, and we are going to go through all the common objections that we get in this business, and we're going to thrash out those common objections, and hopefully a lot of the questions that you might have in your head will be addressed during the second part of this presentation. So tonight we call Throwdown Thursday because it's a throwdown, if you know what a throwdown is. It's almost like a dance-off, but we won't be doing any dancing. And it's a civilized showdown. So that's me over there. Can you see I've got my glasses on? I'm replacing Brendan this evening. You can see I'm shorter and grayer, right? Alrighty, so let's get into it. So DuePoint. We are actually a division of another company called Constantia Insurance Company. That's the little logo over there in the bottom right corner, the orange logo. Their offices in the background. They are a very established insurance company in South Africa. They were formed in 1952, just after World War II. Must have been very easy selling insurance just after World War II. So they've been around for a very long time, for almost 70 years. Okay. The FSP number that we operate under is that one over there. You will see our licenses above the water cooler in the foyer. So you can rest assured that we are a highly regulated financial services company. You're welcome to do a background check on Constantia to see who's involved, who they are, what they get up to. But be assured that you are dealing with a very reputable business within financial services in the country. So who are the characters behind DuePoint? This is the management and executive team. The three people on the left here are registered CAs, chartered accountants, and Jane and I aren't. And you can see the clique that's already formed in our little business. The accountants talking amongst themselves, and Jane and I being ignored, right? Every day we try to make them more social. Not everything revolves around Excel. We're trying to teach them social skills because this is a very social business. So the first person is Brendan. He's the head executive at DuePoint. He has got a wealth of experience in financial services, particularly in insurance. Him and his brother founded Prime Meridian, which is based down the road. It has been a very successful short-term insurer. So he brings all of that wealth and that experience with him to this business. Tim comes to us from corporate banking, where he worked directly beneath the CEO of First Rand Group. We convinced him to get rid of that career and come join us here at DuePoint. And then Stacey comes to us from Deloitte. She worked in consulting in Europe before she came back to South Africa, and she joined DuePoint. And then Jane, the shortest member. Actually, we had Brendan standing on a box. Jane comes to us from the UK. So if you've spoken to Jane, you'll notice she's still got a very heavy English accent, even though she's been here for about 30 years. But she brings a wealth of experience in direct marketing and direct selling, which is key to this business, DuePoint. And then myself, the tallest and best looking person in the group. I come to you from marketing and advertising, right? I started a digital agency about 17 years ago. I got out of that business about 2 years ago before I joined Brendan. So I have a lot of experience in marketing and advertising and making things look really pretty. Alrighty, so that's us. Why have you been brought here? Kicking and screaming, maybe, some of you, right? It's probably on the premise of a financial opportunity, okay? But why is this sudden need to be interested in a financial opportunity? Well, I don't need to go into too much detail about the economy that we are all dealing with at the moment, right? There seems to be something new every week. So if you're brave enough to tune into the radio, which I try avoid, 702 is fairly depressing radio station to listen to, or carte blanche, or you open the newspaper, you will be bombarded with all the negative news that seems to affect South Africa's economy negatively, right? And these are typically aspects that are beyond our control. There's nothing we can do about it. I mean, when a bunch of Britons decide they don't want to be part of the European community anymore, suddenly it's affecting South Africa directly. The dollar price goes up against the rand. We strengthen against the pound. Gold goes up because it's priced in dollars. We've got all these things that start happening, all these macro indicators that are happening constantly. We have zero control over them, right? And it exacerbates the situation that we are dealing with in South Africa. You see all these industries that are under stress. Mining, the agricultural industry because of the drought. Every industry almost, you've got a lot of small businesses that depend on big business success so that they can get by every month. So when you hear about retrenchments within the mining industry, that's not only mine workers getting affected. When a big platinum mine out in Rustenburg suddenly decides to restructure, it's not mine workers that are just getting retrenched and management. It's an entire chain reaction that happens where you've got small business that have their contracts cancelled, and you've got this massive effect of whatever's happening in the economy that starts to directly affect the back pockets of daily South Africans. And I experience it firsthand. All the wealth engineers here will know my wife works for Anglo American, right? She's not a miner. She heads up the labor litigation for Anglo, right? The biggest private employer in South Africa. When they restructure, all that restructuring has to come across her desk so that they can deal with all the regulation when it comes to retrenching people, because we all know labor is heavily regulated, and I see it. 30,000 people being retrenched. Not only mine workers, I'm talking about mine workers, upper management. These are professionals, these are CAs, these are engineers, these are lawyers. So it's not only the person at the bottom rung of corporate South Africa that's being affected. Okay, so we have all these issues in South Africa that are affecting us directly. And they're all out of our control. But there's one aspect that is in our control, and that's debt. We seem to take on debt automatically, right? I'm generalizing, but I can generalize because I see the stats. And the stats say people take on debt without much thought. And we are afforded debt the moment we get our first paycheck. Can you remember your paycheck? How small it was, maybe how long ago it was, right? What happened when you got that paycheck is it typically got paid into a bank account. The moment that happened, you entered the fiscal system in South Africa, because the bank suddenly saw you as an employee, a salary earner, someone they can depend on paying them for their services and products every month, and they afforded you some wonderful products and services. Credit cards. I was recently overseas. I didn't have to go out and get traveler's checks and foreign currency. I could just swipe a credit card. Credit cards are very convenient. That's why we all need at least 5 credit cards each. Home loans. Before the home loan, you probably got a car, right? That first car that you bought was liberating. It means you could get around without asking your mom for a lift. And I remember the first car I bought, a little City Golf. The moment I had that car, I offered every friend that didn't have a car a lift that weekend to go jolling. And I nearly killed everyone because I had about 10 people in the car and couldn't brake for the robots because I was overloaded. Lesson. Right, so it's exciting getting your first car. It's exciting being able to afford a house, right? The banks tell you how exciting it is when they market their home loans. You see the pretty couple standing in front of their new house. They don't tell you they're paying a 20-year bond off at 11%, right? So those are all the debt instruments. But the little pig over there represents that money that you are hopefully saving every month, right? But even that money that you're saving is still subject to a whole bunch of costs. So the stats that we get say the average South African spends 50% of their salary on debt every month. 50% of money goes into repaying all those debt instruments. You've got 50% left over. Average South African. But that's still subject to all these costs, emergencies, your cost of living, right? Education. We all know if you want to get a good education, it's becoming more and more expensive. I joke with my wife. We have a 3-year-old girl, a daughter. The cost of her creche is more expensive than Wits. It's absolutely ridiculous. So I joke with my wife and say, let's skip creche, we skip primary school, we skip high school, we send her straight into Wits. Even if she does like a basic BSc, she can take 10 years to try get it right and pass. It's going to be cheaper for us in the long run. What about trying to re-educate yourself? The job market is becoming so competitive. Your only option seems to go re-educate yourself. Get an MBA maybe. That's going to cost you 200,000 Rand. Okay? Retirement planning. Hopefully a large portion of that money that you're able to save every month is going towards retirement planning. Vacations. South Africans love vacations because we get a lot of leave. My wife tells me all the time, South Africans get a lot of leave by global standards. We like to go on holiday, but holidays are becoming more and more expensive. Cape Town in December is costed at the same price as Paris, I think. Those restaurants and the hotels, they just push their prices up. Last but not least, dreams. Do you remember dreams? Dreams and aspirations? I think if you're 17, you still have dreams and aspirations in your head. And then they start to whittle away as life starts kicking you in the shin, right? All that accountability you have, all these bills that you have to pay. Dreams and aspirations are the first thing to go. So when we have the cost of living that is rising exponentially, they'll tell you that inflation is sitting at about 7%. It is a lie. Go into the shopping center and tell me that your groceries this month are only costing you 7% more than what they cost you last year. Groceries have gone up probably 50% in the last year. Potatoes have gone up 300% in the last year, right? In the last 5 years, a bag of mealie meal has doubled in price. Doubled. That's not 7% a year. Okay? So what happens when we have this rising cost of living, we've got CPI only at 1.3%, which is the lowest in Africa for a country. Debt is becoming more expensive to pay. When the interest rate goes up, it means it's costing you more to service your debt every month. And when you're paying more money for debt, it means this is being compromised. You have less money for living expenses and all of these items. So this becomes compromised. Dreams and aspirations go out the window first, right? Those are only what teenagers dream and think about. Hopefully you're not compromising on your retirement planning. Hopefully you don't find yourself in the position where you don't have money for emergencies. So this is the end of my negative part of the presentation. But what you need to realize is that we are all on this journey of debt from an early age. So that's me. I got my first paycheck, got my City Golf. My wife was very impressed with my City Golf, decided to marry me. We went and got a townhouse that we rented. We had a baby girl. We decided to move into a house, and I find myself over here on this journey of debt. Statistics show us that South Africans only start saving properly for retirement when they reach their 50s. When they reach their 50s. You want to know why? Because they haven't paid off the house yet. They've decided to buy a bigger car. Like already, we're planning a second child. We're already, we need to buy a bigger car. These 1-year-olds and 2-year-olds take up a lot of space, right? And you probably buy a second house. The net result of that is that you're only getting rid of your debt when you're in your 50s, because the kids are also out the house by that stage. So you're not paying for their 10,000 Rand a month school bill, which is absolutely ridiculous. And hopefully they're out of varsity and they're supporting themselves. But statistics show us that kids aren't supporting themselves as well as they used to either. So we have the average South African only starting to save at 50. And what happens? They find themselves in a lot of trouble when it's time to retire. Statistics again shows us 93% of South Africans will retire financially dependent still. Dependent on who? Their kids, their families, friends. They have to suddenly downscale their lifestyles dramatically, sell the house, get a smaller house, sell the cars, right? It's a complete lifestyle change that is, I'm sure, extremely stressful. So at DuePoint, we decided we were going to do something about it. Those individuals I introduced you to on slide 3, we are very passionate about being able to give South Africans the opportunity to change their lives. And we came up with a system called the DuePoint system, and it does three things. The first goal that we have at DuePoint is to allow our wealth engineers to create value in an asset that you own that doesn't have an underlying debt instrument, right? So that's goal number one. Goal number two is to get rid of all the debt in your life. Can you imagine not having any debt in your life? Paid the house off, you paid the cars off, you paid all the home loan, the other loans that you have, educational loans, you've got no debit orders going off in the end of the month. When you decide to buy something, you pay cash for it. You've got no debt. That changes your attitude completely. And it results in our third goal for our wealth engineers. And that is the ability to start dreaming and connecting with those aspirations that you originally had. Right? So those are the three things. So basically what happens as a wealth engineer in it, you've got 100 times 10 hours a week that are contributing to the money that you earn at the end of the month. Again, you are leveraging other people to your benefit. It is completely flexible. You can decide how much time you want to dedicate to this business. It can be 2 hours a week. It can be full time. It's completely up to you. You operate independently. You are not accountable to us. You are accountable to yourself, right? Some people might find that empowering, I hope. Other people might find that intimidating. It is a risk-free endeavor. We are not going to ask you for a startup amount in this business. We're not going to say, give us 10,000 Rand this month, and we will give you a certain return after that. It is risk-free. You can join this business, and before the end of the month's over, you can say, well, I think Rob duped me into joining DuePoint, and you can cancel your product and leave. The worst that would have happened is that you would have spent the hour with me this evening. That's it. This is a risk-free endeavor. There are no qualifications or experience required. When I got into this business, I was not told that I was expected to do regulatory exams for phase. I'm still upset about it. So in August, Brendan came to me and said, listen, we are a financial service provider. I know you're not going to be giving advice or any of that type of stuff, but you should go do the FSB exams. Right? They are horrible exams. I thought they'd be easy because they were multiple choice, but they weren't. Okay? When the Phase Act came out in 2002, it put 70,000 financial advisors out of business because the exams were too onerous. The qualifications that were required to operate within financial services was too difficult. 70,000 financial advisors said, I don't want to be part of financial services. I'm going to go look for something else. You guys have the opportunity to be involved in a business in financial services without any of those requirements. There are very few people getting involved in financial services today. The most important benefit, this is where you create an asset. You are building an asset that belongs to you, right? So you're building value in all the effort that you put in every month, value that belongs to you. It is a legal asset. You can move it into a family trust if you want. You can transfer it to your beneficiaries if something had to happen to you. It's treated as a legal asset. And much to everyone's relief, there's no selling involved. Who's terrified of selling? Many of us. Many of us are terrified of selling. Find it intimidating. You don't think you're very good at it. You're probably not, right? Fortunately, there's no selling involved. All you're going to be doing is introducing individuals to us. DuePoint will sell its products to those people you introduce us to. The nature of our business, there's no stock. There's no distribution. You don't have to phone Jane and say you want to come pick up 500 kilograms of washing powder and then borrow your uncle's bucky to come pick up all the washing powder and then go sell it to your families and friends, right? When financial services, this is the beauty of financial services, is that we will do the collection. We will do the debit order runs on your behalf. You have nothing else to worry about. So we make the business as convenient as possible to get involved in. So what are these channels of distribution? They begin with you. That's you in the center there, waving back. And you go out and you tell people about DuePoint. When they're able to catch the vision of what DuePoint is, and we're able to place a product with those individuals, that is the beginning of your channels of distribution. This is the power of duplication that's happening. All these little dots appearing are the result of those first 5 people that you introduced to DuePoint. Can you see how you're leveraging the people in your channel to your benefit? How much effort did it take to put in 5 people to convince them of the opportunity that DuePoint is, right? So this is what a channel of distribution looks like. Then I bring up my disclaimer slide. This is my favorite slide. Look at the picture carefully. It's a professional dancer, a ballet dancer. If you've ever been to the ballet, you will see it's a very elegant, beautiful, live show. You don't get to see the very nasty looking foot underneath the ballet pump, right? This business is the same. As easy and as convenient and as attractive as we make this business, this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. If you think I'm trying to get you involved in a hobby or a get-rich-quick scheme that you're going to make money after the first couple of months, you're in the wrong place. You need to treat this like a proper business opportunity, like any other business opportunity. It takes thought, strategy. You need to overcome frustration to be successful in this business. Okay? There's no shortcuts. You identify the goal that you want to achieve with this business, and you pay the price for it. That's what I'm offering you. This is my disclaimer slide. The little girl, when she started ballet, her dream was to become a professional dancer. Minimum 10,000 hours of practice. With all the issues, the blisters, little 3-year-old with blisters, she overcame it. She overcame it. She thought about that dream, about becoming a professional ballet dancer. Mom probably took her to the ballet to go watch the professional dancers. She had a long-term view of where she wanted to be. So when she got the blister, she didn't cry to her mom and say she wanted to quit ballet. So when you look at this business, I want you to have a long-term outlook. You have to have a long-term outlook to this business. Because if you grow frustrated after 3 months, you will leave, right? You need to connect to that long-term vision. So that's my disclaimer slide. Alrighty, let's talk about something a little more positive. How do we earn with this business? So that's you in the center there. We pay people a base return fee of R27.50 for every single product that we're able to place in your business. Okay? So that's the first 5 individuals that you introduce to the business. These people lie on point 1. These are people that you know personally. You directly put them into your business. They lie on point 1. They're subject to a 200% multiplier. So we don't pay you R27.50. We pay you R55 for every product, every single month going forward. They go out and they do the same thing. We're able to place a product with the individuals they introduced to DuePoint. And again, that lies on point 2, right? It's 2 points away from you. 200% multiplier again. Again, we pay you R55 for every product, every single month going forward. Up to point 3, to point 4, all the way down to point 8. At point 8, we pay you 4% of that R27.50, but we don't limit you there. So you could have a channel that builds to 100 points. We will pay you 4% to the 100th point, right? I joke, I say you could have Jacob Zuma sitting on your 100th point. You wouldn't even know about it, and you'd be earning money from him, right? So this is how the mechanics of the earnings work. So what we did, those very exciting individuals I introduced you to at the beginning, our accountants, we sent them away with Excel, and we asked them to come up with a growth trajectory in this business so that you guys have an idea of how much money you could be earning after a certain amount of time. We call it the path to success. Sounds way better than the journey of debt. And it is based on what we call a 3+2 formula. It assumes that you're able to add 3 people into your channel in the first month, right? And then only 2 people every consecutive month. And if you're able to duplicate that behavior into your channel, you can expect to earn this. So after 6 months, you could be earning R2,500. Most people give up before they even get to 6 months because they're probably only earning R1,000 here, 1,500 in month 4. They get despondent because they don't have the long-term vision. They can't deal with the frustration. But if you persist, after 6 months, R2,500. Now, I know some lawyers that are friends with my wife that charge that for half an hour of their time. Right? A lot of us might turn our noses up at 2,500 rand. But this is still the early stages. But let me give you a little bit of understanding so that you can value what 2,500 rand can do for you. If you put 2,500 rand into an existing 1 million rand bond that you signed a 20-year lease on, happily, you take that money. You don't go spend it and have a grand lunch somewhere. You put it into your bond. It'll reduce that bond from 20 years down to 11 and a half years. Do you know how much money that'll save you? Any guesses? How much money is 2,500 rand going to save you on a 20-year bond? It's going to save you 1 million rand. 1 million rand, right? This is the power of compound interest. You can either let it work for you or let it work against you. After a year, you could be earning nearly 10,000 rand a month, right? Now we start to get a little more excited. You didn't give up after month 6. You carried on. After 2 years, you could be earning 30,000 rand a month. Now, 30,000 rand a month, I don't care who you are, makes a significant difference in your life. You keep going. After 3 years, nearly 50,000 rand a month. Remember, this is 3 plus 2. 3 people in the first month, 2 every consecutive month. It's only 1 person every 2 weeks. If we look at this compound interest example again, after month 30, you're probably on about 36, 37,000 rand, right? We don't go blow it on clothing in New York. We take the money, we put it into a bond. This time a 5 million rand bond. We will reduce the term from 20 years to less than 7 years. Right? After 7 years, you will own the house. It's yours. It's no longer the bank's. I'm 39 at the moment, very young 39. I've got about 21 years until I have early retirement, right? Because 60 is early retirement. Most people are now having to work till they're 70. So I could do this 3 times over. Every 7 years, I could go buy a 5 million rand house and pay it off cash. So by the time I'm ready to retire, I've got 3 houses that I own to the value of 5 million rand. I could be renting them out for 25,000 rand each. I'm earning this passive income from DuePoint. So when I'm ready to retire, I've got passive income of over 100,000 rand a month. Does that not sound like a way better retirement plan than hoping my employment will get me to that point? And if you keep on going, it's only going to get better. Because after 4 years, you're probably on about 70,000 rand a month. And after 5 years, you're on nearly 1 million rand a year. Probably over 1 million rand a year. 60 months. Think how short 60 months ago was. So in 60 months' time, you can create passive income for yourself that pays you over 1 million rand a year. Who's going to get a 1 million rand bonus from the employer? No one I know, unless you know the CEO of Anglo or Eskom. Right? So how long is 60 months? I happily signed 60 months to pay my city golf off. Happily. Worst investment like anyone could ever make is buying cars. Right? So this is an investment for your future. 60 months' time. Can you endure for 60 months? Can you keep adding that 1 person every 2 weeks? Can you manage the people that you've added into your channel? So you might think, well, this is great in theory, right? But this is not only theory. We've got many wealth engineers that are doing this. So these are our latest wealth engineers. Mario, he owns a printing shop on the Wits campus. Every other day he gets threatened by the students there because of all the unrest. And he tells his staff to go home or not even to come in. His business gets shut down every other day because of the economy and the environment that he's subject to, right? He's doing way better than 3 plus 2. We've got Engelbert. It's based in Durban. I didn't know they did business in Durban, right? He's not tracking 3 plus 2. He's exceeding 3 plus 2. Where is he going to be after 60 months? We've got Lynette, who drives a very long distance to be with us, right? She has the discipline and she's putting in the effort because she believes in what this business can do for her. She's way outperforming 3 plus 2. Okay? We've got Casper, who works at Kia. He's a service manager. He gets to work at 6:30 in the morning and he leaves at 6:30 in the evening. I'm sure if you spoke to my wife, that's illegal. Right? He wants to change his destiny. He does not trust that his employer and his employment will get him to that point. And the little pink WQ there means that he got rewarded an iPad. So every month we have a wealth quest. He won an iPad last month because of all the efforts that he put in building his channel. But Patrick and Pumi, way outperforming 3 plus 2. The 3 plus 2 is only a guideline, guys. It is only a guideline, a moderate guideline so you can understand how much money you can earn in this business. You can outperform it if you want to. If you see the value in this business, you can dedicate every free minute that you have to this business. It is going to reward you for your effort. At the end of the year, we're not going to say to you, oh, listen, we can only give you a 1% raise this year. You know, the economy is not doing so well. You are accountable to how much you can earn in a business like this. And that's not the only way that we pay our wealth engineers. So that was the earnings. We have something that we call the XP Rewards Program. I like to call it the study guide for being a wealth engineer. So we all used to cram for our exams and our tests because we didn't study soon enough. And we went out and got the study guide to help us accelerate our learning, right? The XP Rewards Program is something similar to that. It takes you from being a beginner wealth engineer to an advanced wealth engineer. All right, so we have all these tasks, really basic. The first one is log into the website, and you get XP points. We give you 25 XP points, and as you start getting more and more XP points, and your channel starts to grow, what happens is we reward our wealth engineers with holidays. Not only for the wealth engineer, the entire family. We give away cars without DuePoint stickers. We give tools to our wealth engineers that help them build their channels more effectively, right? So here's the entire rewards table. I'm going to open up the whole thing. We've stopped at rank 20 at the bottom there, but it extends past that. So when you join this evening, you'll be rank 0, right? And as your channel builds and you acquire the XP points, we give you a reward, 55 Rand. You can go have a half meal at Nando's. The rewards start out really small, okay? But they get bigger. The bigger your channel grows, the more points that you get for doing all those good wealth engineer behaviors, you start to get better rewards. At rank 5, one of the tools I spoke of that help you become more effective at channel building. It's a 1,200 Rand lightning memory stick that you can plug into your cell phone, you can plug into your computer. More importantly, we put all our training collateral on that. All the videos that we do, the training stuff, to help you guys build your channel more effectively, right? The next one is the premium business cards. They aren't 7,000 Rand premium business cards anymore. Because I sat down with the printers this week, I told them what we wanted, they re-quoted me. The printing industry is supposedly attached to the dollar price in this country. We got re-quoted. The business cards are now 12,000 Rand business cards. Who spends 12,000 Rand on business cards? We do, right? I call them the Rolls Royce of business cards. Have you ever been to a function, a little private function, maybe a braai, and someone rocks up in a Rolls Royce? Everyone's like, my word, what does this person do? It's the same thing. When you have 12,000 Rand business cards that are dipped in gold, and when you place one of those into someone's hands, they're going to ask you, who is DuePoint? What do you do for DuePoint? And they'll be sitting next to you at the next intro presentation. Right? Tools to make your business as being a wealth engineer easier and more effective. And then we have the exciting one, an annual family vacation. Not only for the wealth engineer, the whole family. Business class tickets to a 5-star resort every year. It is the only reward that's not once off. All of these are once offs. But when you get to rank 9, we will take you and your family on that holiday every single year going forward. Every year. So when you go speak to your employer and you ask HR for a leave form, and you fill out the leave form, be sure to tell the HR manager that you're going business class. And at the coffee machine, you tell everyone that it's the 3rd year that you've gone business class to the 5-star resort. And they say to you, but surely your job can't afford that. Then you put the Rolls-Royce business card in their hand. And they will be sitting here. One of the XP quests, put your boss in this business. Right? Does it sound intimidating enough? Rank 11, 220,000 Rand new car. That's probably also going up because of the dollar issues that we experience. It is the best car you can get. Do you know what car it is? It's a paid-off car. Isn't that a novel idea? A paid-off car that you don't have to pay for at the end of the month without any DuePoint stickers, I promise. Right? So these rewards get bigger and better. So you get the earnings at the end of the month, and we reward you as you rank up in this program. So at this stage, we've got a lot of people that start to get worried about the mathematics. Guys, there are more CAs in our offices than there are lowly design guys. So you don't have to worry about the maths. But I'll explain it to you anyway. In traditional business models, companies traditionally spend a lot of money on marketing and advertising to get product to the consumer, right? We all know that. We can take that for granted. DuePoint does not do any marketing and advertising. You will not see our logo outside of this building, right? What we do is we depend on our wealth engineers through the word of mouth to get our product to market. So instead of spending, like the insurance industry did, over R1 billion last year in marketing and advertising, we give it to our wealth engineers in the form of returns and rewards. We could very easily have taken the traditional route. We've done it before. It's a proven formula. But the vision in this business is to change South Africans' lives, to give the South African the opportunity to take control over their finances, right? And we achieve this through this business model. And you might be wondering, what products are we selling? It's not washing powder, it's not toothpaste. We have 3 products. They have been designed to complement each other. You can take out all 3. You can take out 1. You can take out 2. But they are designed to benefit our wealth engineers. Okay? So the first one is an investment product. It is called Access Wealth. Remember, our first goal, we want to create wealth that our wealth engineers own. And this is the first product. 274 Rand a month. It is a registered tax-free investment account. So out of the 274 Rand premium, 100 Rand of that goes into an investment account that you guys own. You have full access to it. If you want to draw funds out of it, which you shouldn't because then it's not an investment account, you can have the funds within 72 hours. It is not a notice deposit that you see with all the other banks, right? On top of that, we give you 100,000 Rand personal accident cover. So if you own this product and something happens to you, you get hit by a bus, we will put 100,000 Rand into that investment account for your beneficiaries. All right? The second product is Wealth Guard. We are trying to guard your wealth. This is an insurance product. This is R1 million worth of personal accident cover for 249 Rand a month. It is accessible to everybody over the age of 18. So you're not going to be asked about your medical history, whether your family has got a history of cancer or heart disease or diabetes, right? It doesn't matter what your health status is. It doesn't matter what your age is. The premium will still be 249 Rand a month, and you'll still get R1 million worth of personal accident cover. Okay? The third product is probably the most exciting product. It tackles the issue from a completely different point of view. Here we know that our wealth engineers are going to be spending money every month, right? Cost of living means spending. This product allows you to save money on that spend that you have every month. So it's also 249 Rand a month, of which you retain 100 Rand. We put that 100 Rand into the form of wealth points, into an e-wallet that you guys can spend with our partners. And this list of partners is growing every month. So our first one is the Entertainer. The Entertainer is a premium buy one, get one free system. It gives you access to over 1.2 million rands worth of vouchers. That's 100,000 rand worth of vouchers every single month. So if you go to Juniper's across the road here, cute little restaurant, fillet steak costs 160 rand. You get the second one for free. One lunch sitting has saved you what the true premium cost is. Because the premium cost is only 150. You keep the other 100. There's 1.2 million rands worth of vouchers there. Restaurants, live events, hotels around the world. We've got Travel Center. Always get confused. Travel Center, Flight Center, I think they're the same thing. But we've got a dedicated account manager there that deals with corporates only. You get corporate rates when you phone Flight Center. So if you've got any business or personal travel, get a quote from them. We've got all the retailers. Yuppie Chef, Take-A-Lot, Hirsch's, ShopRite Checkers. Again, we've negotiated discounts with these people. We've paid them R1 million to get discounts from them, and we've shared the discounts with our wealth engineers through this product. If you want immediate value out of a product, this is the product to have. You'll gain immediate value out of it. We've got FHM professional training. So if you want to work on a beach body during winter, so you're ready for summer, you can do it. Half the price. We've signed up Love Hair, so you can doll yourself up before you come to the intro presentation, right? We've got discounted rates with all of these suppliers, and we are adding new suppliers all the time. So it will only grow and grow. So if you decide to join DuePoint, you need to realize that you've probably got the best support structure behind you for any business opportunity. The individuals I introduced you to at the beginning are all here to make you guys as effective as possible. So personal development is very important. You need to believe in personal development. It's the only way you can get better in your financial situation. We've got client service ladies who have got a wealth of experience in this type of business, again, to help you. The facilities that we set up are for our wealth engineers. So we have wealth engineers coming in all the time. They have meetings in our boardrooms. We live stream all the major events so that if you've got channel members that are sitting in Durban, Cape Town, you're not restricted to just Gauteng. You can have people overseas if you want. If they're South African, they've got South African bank accounts, right? This is all to support our wealth engineers to be as successful in this endeavor as possible. When did you ever look at a business opportunity that gives you that much success? Well, support, right? It doesn't exist. You're on your own. You start your own business, you're on your own, right? You need to make it happen for yourself. Alrighty, so that is the end of part one. I'm sure everyone has got all these questions now brooding in their minds. And Tim is going to come up, and we are going to thrash out all the common objections that we've faced over all the years of experience that we have in this type of business. Tim, you're taller than me in the picture. What do you think? What do you think's floating around in the minds of our guests this evening?
Okay, Rob, so if I had to think about it, and you've always had the opportunity to challenge Brendan and the accountants on these presentations, so we said it's going to be a civilized throwdown, but sure. I mean, it's still a throwdown, so I have to give you a bit of grief here.
I'm pretending to be an accountant
You've
tonight.
taken some lipstick here and you've put it on this pig. And whenever I hear about some kind of referral or introductory kind of business where you have to refer people or bring people, I immediately get nervous because I've seen it on carte blanche, all of these pyramid schemes, scams, get-rich-quick schemes. So how do you tell me that this is not one of those schemes?
Okay, so this is a very common objection, right? Anyone hears the swear word network marketing, the first thing, and it's usually your best friends and your family that are brazen enough to tell you straight out, that's a pyramid scheme that you're involved in. Okay, the short answer is no. This is very far away from what a pyramid scheme is. Firstly, a pyramid scheme is illegal, right? In South Africa, pyramid schemes are illegal. What is a pyramid scheme? So a pyramid scheme is actually defined in the Consumer Protection Act, and often it is no underlying product in a pyramid scheme. If you've ever had an offer that is a pyramid scheme. It goes like this. Give me 20,000 Rand today and find another 2 people, and on Friday I'll give you 40,000 Rand. That is what a pyramid scheme is. There's no underlying product. There's no effort on behalf of the participants, and there's this grand promise of this guaranteed return in a very short period of time. And they always fail, and people get burnt, and they lose their money in a very short space of time, and the people that were involved suddenly disappear, right? Look around you. We have spent a lot of money in this business. We have got Constantia, one of the longest standing insurance companies in the country. There are only a dozen other companies in this country that have more financial licenses than us. We've got a R1 billion business that's listed on the JSE that is part of this group, right? We are not going anywhere. It is far from a pyramid scheme. But the stigma exists in everyone's minds. So if someone is thinking that, you need to address it. And that's how you address it, right? I hope that's answered a lot of the questions. Tim, another objection that we hear, I've got a good job, I've got a great career. I'm at, I don't want to mention any big mining house companies. I'm with a great, reputable business. I don't need this.
Okay, so I think the way we should answer that is we've mentioned that this is kind of like it's a building a channel of distribution. You get to choose who you want in your channel. So who would you choose if you wanted to build something? You wouldn't go and choose the laziest person and the slacker and the guy who's never had any success in his life. You want to go and find those people that are successful. So it's a big message that we preach here at DuePoint is you want quality, you want successful people. So if that person is already successful, those are one of the people that you want to target. But it is difficult to get those people because they've already got this mentality, this mindset of I have this career. You know, but the problem with a fancy career is you earning 500,000 Rand a year, but you've got 500,000 Rand expenses. So what would happen to you if you had to lose your job? So I always hear the story, you know, you don't just lose your job, you lose your house, and you lose your wife all together. So you don't want to lose your job. Okay?
No.
So, you know, we're saying that this is a legitimate opportunity to kind of supplement your income and start building a small business on the side. If I just had to say to that person who's going the traditional route, we're not saying we're not against that, we're just saying here's another opportunity. So if you're looking for opportunities, you know, like we say, I'm the accountant, I'm the disciplined one. I've been saving and doing the right things since I started working. So I've always contributed to my savings account. And, you know, if you presented me with an opportunity that said I could earn, you know, 80,000 Rand after 5 years, you know, I look at my personal savings of the 20 years that I've been putting into it.
It's only got to 80,000 Rand now.
I'm not earning a passive income of 80,000 Rand a month
exactly.
from my normal investment kind of, you know, the traditional route.
Yeah, and I think the objection highlights the issue. I've got a good job and a career. You've highlighted the issue that's at risk. If you're depending on your career to get you where you are taking a massive risk. The South African environment does not allow for job security anymore. There's no such thing as job security. So if you're depending on a career to allow you to reach your aspirations, you're just taking a massive risk.
Okay. So, I mean, also then linked with that is, I've got this career, or I'm so busy as it is, I just don't have time. How would you
No, exactly.
answer that?
So the objection again is highlighting the issue that we all face ourselves in. We're like hamsters on a wheel, right? When the job market starts to become more competitive, what do we think? I have to work harder. I have to send my kids to a better school so that they can do homework till 9 o'clock at night and give themselves better opportunity, right? These objections are highlighting the issues that we face as South Africans. When you don't have time, that is the issue. This business offers you time freedom. Financial freedom equals time freedom. If you want to work yourself to death until you're retired, you can do that. But I mean, in 5 years' time, if you're able to earn an additional R1 million after 5 years, does that not afford you more time? More time with your family, more time to relax, more time not to have to work and get into that daily grind.
Okay.
So, Tim, my favorite picture. Let everyone see that beautiful picture. Network marketing is embarrassing. I come from design and advertising. We are very self-conscious individuals. My friends are going to find out what I'm doing. How do I deal with this, Tim?
So, I mean, again, Rob, we've never said that we're trying to hide anything. This is a network marketing-based business model, which has been very successful in other businesses in this country and overseas. So where does this stigma come from? It comes from the fact that there are very low barriers to entry in this market. So you've said it in your slide. You know, there's no qualification, there's no upfront investment. So there's actually nothing preventing someone getting into this industry.
Even designers can join.
Yeah. So unfortunately, then that does attract a certain lowest common denominator, and it's those people that tarnish it for the rest of the industry. So I'm sure everyone's been invited to some kind of meeting by the guy who's got a get quick rich scheme.
Yeah.
So we're saying that, you know, that has those people are out there.
Yeah.
We're saying that is the past.
Yeah.
Okay. We're saying the present is DuePoint. As you mentioned, we've spent a lot of effort to make sure that you will never be embarrassed to bring someone here to DuePoint. So from the products that we sell to the offices and the facilities that we have here, you will never be embarrassed by DuePoint. We, as you said, the Rolls-Royce business cards, we want to be the premier network marketing company in South Africa. So that's the present. And then looking to the future, you know, I would be more embarrassed if I got, you know, towards the end of my career, and I could say to my children one day, look, I can't afford to send you to varsity, or I couldn't afford to retire comfortably.
Yeah.
So yes, there is that embarrassment, but there are things that may be more embarrassing. And
no, for sure. I think, you know, embarrassment is just the superficial emotion that exists. I mean, I joke and I say, guys, I'm not trying to sell you brown corduroy pants. You know, that's embarrassing. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to give you the opportunity to change your life. You know, if embarrassment is going to stop you from doing that, then you've got other problems that you need to deal with, right? So it's okay to feel embarrassed, but overcome it, because the goal is way more important than that feeling of embarrassment being part of a business model that has some stigma attached to it because of past horrible experiences that some people have had to endure.
Yeah, so we're saying it is there, and I think another reason that it is there is because you now become exposed. You become personally exposed to the no's, where you invite people and they say no, they're not interested, all these other objections. So you get exposed to that. As we said, there's a lot of other opportunities out there that don't expose you to that. So you could go and buy the online Forex trading manual for 20,000 Rand and go and spend another 20,000 Rand and lose your 40,000 Rand.
Hide in your room and not
no
tell
one
anyone.
will know. I can go to Monte Casino every month and gamble 50,000 Rand away. You know, it'll be difficult to keep it from my wife, but you know, my friends might not know. But with this opportunity, you actually do expose yourself. But we're not saying it's embarrassing. As you said, I think it's actually quite inspirational and motivational for someone who wants to change their life. But not only change their life, but change the lives of the people around them.
Yeah.
So, you know, as we mentioned, it's not just about, you know, it's about what happens if I feel like I can't sell or I'm not good at selling.
Then I'll remind you of the point that I made in the presentation. There's no selling involved. There's no selling involved, guys. All we want you to do is go out and tell people about the opportunity. Do not become fixated on the products. The products are not going to change your life. The DuePoint opportunity is going to change your life. And the FSB says you're not allowed to sell, right? So legally, you're not allowed to sell. You're not allowed to give advice about the products. You're not allowed to do any selling. We will do the selling. DuePoint and Constantia will take it upon ourselves to do the selling to the people that you introduce to us. Okay, so don't be worried about the selling. So Tim, this is probably the objection where Brendan usually cringes, because Brendan spent all his time in the last year designing the products. And when he hears objections like this, which we have to deal with at least once a week, where people say, oh, you know, I could really get involved in this business if you offered a funeral plan, or if you offered car insurance. Now, car insurance, everyone needs car insurance. If you had that product, then I could make this business work. And that cuts Brendan deep.
Yeah, Rob, there's three things that I want to just cover there. The first one is, you know, we had to set these products up. We did an industry and a market and a competitor analysis. And I can say we believe that our products are competitively priced. So I don't think that is really an issue. And even if you look at our Access Wealth product, I don't think that you're going to be able to take out a similar product in the market. No one is going to be able to give you access for 100 Rand a month to a investment account, a tax-free investment account with that underlying equity unit trust exposure. So that just doesn't exist. And if you do, have the money and the connections, the asset managers that we have managing your money are not available to everyone. They're not even available to the high net worth individuals. They're available to the ultra high net worth individuals. So we're giving you access to a product that you would never be able to access before.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the first thing on the products. The second thing is that, as you mentioned, why we believe that financial services products are so great with this kind of business is because of that recurring income, that recurring premium. We have these financial services products. Every month we collect the premium, and when we get paid, you get paid. So you have this recurring income. Yeah. If I go and type into Google, common objections with multi-level marketing or whatever, the products are always a problem. People say, no, I spend more on products than I eventually make. But that's not the case with DuePoint because we have these financial services products. As you mentioned, you're not going to go and buy your bucky load worth of goods that you have to go and sell. And you don't end up selling them, but you've got to meet targets, so then you go and buy more next month, and it ends up sitting in your garage and costing you more. Yeah. So we don't have those issues with financial services products. And I know it's getting a bit late now, and people might be getting tired, but if I can just grab your attention for the next 10 seconds, because I think the next 10 seconds are going to be the most important of this whole presentation. If you get stuck on the products, you're going to miss the key point about DuePoint, and that is about the income earning opportunity. So it's not about the products. If you think you can save another 5 Rand on premium, you're going to miss the point of this, easy access to a business opportunity that could change your life. And if you get stuck on the products, I hope you don't miss that. So I hope I got everyone's attention for that.
You've missed the boat then, or the whole point. Alrighty, these businesses come and go. Perhaps with experience, you've dealt with businesses that come and go. But I'll tell you again, we have spent a lot of money. We've got really big business backing this company. We are here to stay. No one is going anywhere. Often what happens with a business model that is as attractive and as accessible as what network marketing is, which is one of the fastest growing industries in the world, you have every Tom, Dick, and Harry trying to attach his business and his product to an underlying network marketing business model. When I started my business 17 years ago, we looked at stats. 90% of businesses fail in the first year. The 10% that survive, 90% of those fail within the first 3 years, right? We have enough experience in this business to assure everyone that this business is not going anywhere. When you look at the reputable company like Constantia, Conduit Capital, which is listed on the stock exchange, the individuals involved, our chairman, our head executive, these are people with a wealth of information and experience in this business. Financial services is probably the most regulated industry in the country.
No. Okay, so Rob, it's definitely not for the desperate and the poor. But as we mentioned, the savings rate in South Africa is shocking. So I think there are a lot of people out there who could always benefit from a product, if we just talk about products, a savings and investment product. So first of all, there's a huge target market to try and help people get into savings. Okay, the same with insurance. Any of the insurance material that you read, they always say people are underinsured. So there again, there's another market. So we can always get into that market. So it's not something that is for the desperate or the poor. And as I said to you, if you can show me another opportunity that requires less capital, less risk, and has got such great benefits, I don't think there's another opportunity available out there. So it's not about being desperate or poor. I think it's about people who see the benefit of the system and who understand it and who want to plug into that system.
Yeah, again, I think it's just a perception issue. Okay.
Okay, so what about those people who just don't know enough people?
The people that have less than 1,000 friends on Facebook, how are you going to make this business work? Right? Guys, this business leverages very few people to be successful. Right? You saw that channel diagram in the beginning of the presentation. You introduced 5 people into the business. Right? The business grows exponentially every month. It creates that income stream for you that you get every single month. You don't need to add 1,000 people into this business to become successful. You have to add quality individuals into your channel and duplicate that behavior into your channel. You don't need to know 5,000 people to be successful. All you have to do is add those key people into the business, and that exponential growth will turn into success for you. So if you're worried that you're not extroverted enough, you don't go to the local pub enough, you don't have enough friends on Facebook, you need not worry, right? The business hinges on you finding quality individuals. Like Tim said on the previous slide, this business is not for the desperate and poor. DuePoint cannot be everything to everyone. We are looking for people, our peers, people with resources, people with that little bit of entrepreneurial flair that want to make a difference in their lives. Those are the individuals you want to add into this business. That is where the success lies in a business like this.
But also, Rob, if you think about success breeds success. So yes, in the beginning, you're going to be looking for people. But once you've established your name out there and you are now successful in building your channel, people will want to try and find you. Because there are a lot of people out there who are looking to change their circumstances. So in the beginning, you're going to be looking for people, but I think after a while, there are going to be people that are going to be looking for you. So you don't have to worry about running out of people to find.
Yeah. All right. I think when we talk about people fearing success, I think they're actually fearing the risk involved in kind of being vulnerable to this business opportunity.
So whenever I talk about this point is that, I don't think I will succeed. But as we mentioned, DuePoint is designed, the system is designed for duplication. So if you look at, as Rob mentioned, our XP rewards program, there is the training system that gives you amazing benefits. I mean, like we said, we don't know many people that go overseas on holiday every year. Here's a training program that's going to assist you with that. If you do the work, you will get the rewards. But also, when we talk about the financial risk, there's actually no failure in DuePoint because of you're not putting anything at risk, other than your ego. So we're not asking for that big upfront deposit. You're not going to lose your money from investing in DuePoint. So the risk involved in becoming part of DuePoint is actually very minimal. So I don't think it's a real key objection that I can't risk it or I'm going to fail. It's also about, if you think about anything in life, if you think, if I had to try and run the Comrades tomorrow, I'd most probably fail, okay? But I would start by running a 5K, then I'd run a 10K, then a 21K. So I'd slowly start building up. So if I look at the Comrades as a challenge, it would be impossible. But if I took the right approach, I eventually could get there. So don't see it as the end goal. I'm going to be the top network marketer in South Africa.
Yeah.
Think about it as slow, gradual progression. And with anything in life, the more time that you put in, the better you're going to be at it.
Yeah. Look, we all know everything in life has got some form of risk attached to it. Whether you're trying to tell the girl or boy that you actually love them, or whether it's a business opportunity, right? Risk. There is risk in life, regardless of what is happening. You need to decide, are you willing to risk getting involved in a business opportunity that can maybe allow you to reach your goals, or do you rather just want to do nothing and hope that when the time comes that you're ready to retire, that you're ready for retirement. Embrace risk, right? Life is risky. Odds are you're not going to make it out alive. Okay? Embrace the risk. The worst thing you can do is do nothing. That is the worst thing you can do. So, Tim, I think that brings us to the end of our presentation. Thank you. Guys, so let me encourage you. We've gone through all the benefits of this business. We've discussed the risk. Tim and I have argued about all the objections that most of you will face if you decide to become DuePoint Wealth Engineers. But I need to remind you, you need to connect with the long-term vision that this business offers. Do not become fixated over what the business is going to do for you in the next few months, right? It's like an investment account. If you're only putting 100 Rand away into the investment account and you go stare at it every month in the first 6 months, you're not going to be very impressed, right? But if you leave it there for 20 years, it is going to grow to 500,000 Rand. It's the same with this business. You get involved in a business opportunity, it's going to start out fairly slowly. But the amount of effort that you put in month 1 requires the same amount of effort that we expect from you in month 60. Same amount of effort. When you go to work in the week and you work the 8 hours every day, is your job going to grow 1,000-fold? It is not. You're still going to only get paid for what your company thinks you're worth for 40 hours a week. In this business, you're able to grow your earnings exponentially. So this is not really a decision about whether the benefits are good enough. I know the benefits are good enough. I challenge every single audience. Every time I do an intro presentation, you come speak to me if you think there's a better business opportunity in South Africa. I don't think it exists, and no one's challenged me on that. So the decision is not whether the benefits are great enough for you. It's whether you guys want to make a change in your life. Whether you're willing to take on this risk, pay the price for changing your future, the future of your family, your children, right? When you're able to show your children there's another way to earn money over and beyond depending on an employer, you will change their lives, generations following them. And that's the decision you need to make. And you're forced to make a decision because I've given you all this information. You decide to do nothing, that's a decision in itself, right? So after this, come speak to me. Ask me questions, challenge me. I'm happy to answer any questions. So that's the conclusion of our presentation. It's very easy to join DuePoint. We've got free Wi-Fi in the building. We've got iPads lying everywhere. Jump onto the homepage, click the big blue apply button. It'll take you 7 minutes to join DuePoint. Tomorrow you can start building value in an asset that you own, that you have control over. And here's another one of the new Wealth Points partners. So I'm going to go through a few updates that we've had in the last week. Love Hair. You can get your nails done. You can get that hair plucked. You can get your hair done. You can come looking very pretty to our intro presentations. We've launched our mobile app to make life as convenient as possible for our wealth engineers. So the mobile app was launched last week. Download it. Your first login will give you 250 XP. And you'll still earn another 25 XP every time you log into that app on a daily basis. Our wealth quest for the month, right? So this is opportunity for you guys. If you join tonight, you can still partake in the wealth quest. You can take home a flat screen TV at the end of the month. All you have to do is add 2 individuals into your first point. 2 individuals this month. But you need to help them add in 3 individuals each. So in total, that's 8 individuals. If you achieve that at the end of the month, you'll be earning about 440 Rand a month all of a sudden, and you're going to get a TV, plus the 2,000 XP, right? It's a great wealth quest to focus on for the month. And then Wednesdays, we typically took Wednesdays off, but we've introduced Movie Night Wednesday, where you can come sit back and relax. You don't have to be intimidated by me or Tim or Brendan. Watch reruns of Tell All Tuesdays or the Throwdown Thursdays that we have, and we have some motivational videos that we show too. So bring guests on a Wednesday if you don't want to be too intimidating. And that's it, guys. I thank you for your time, and I look forward to chatting to you afterwards. Thank you.